Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into what is honestly one of the most hilariously elaborate acts of dietary rebellion I've ever seen. If you've ever tried sticking to a super strict diet, you know how those cravings can make you do some pretty crazy things. But in the source material we're looking at today, oh man, those cravings spark what I can really only describe as a high-stakes junk food reverse heist. We are talking about a full-scale architectural and logistical operation just to build a fully functioning secret 7-Eleven right inside a bedroom. Okay, let's dive into this. Seriously, what is the absolute craziest thing you've ever done to cheat on a diet? Maybe, I don't know, you sneaked a candy bar into the house or hid a bag of chips way in the back of the pantry. Well, for our protagonist, Ben, and his girlfriend, Hannah, they're on day 9 of a super intense 30-day health challenge. Strict rules, only healthy food allowed. But by day 9, Ben's willpower is just fracturing. His mind is totally consumed by thoughts of junk food, and every single time he tries to sneak a snack, Hannah shuts it down immediately. So Ben comes up with a plan that is completely disproportionate to the problem. He decides he's going to covertly construct an entire convenience store inside his own house. The contrast between these two is just wild. On one side, you've got Hannah's day 9 reality. She is fiercely dedicated to this challenge. She's hitting the gym, eating leftover salads for lunch, and literally subjecting herself to extreme cryotherapy, like stepping into a chamber that drops to between minus 144 to minus 200 degrees Celsius, all just for the health benefits. Meanwhile, Ben's internal monologue is just prime hydration drinks, Cheetos, and Slurpees. The comedic juxtaposition here is really the whole engine for this explainer. Extreme discipline colliding head-on with an absolutely unhinged desire for processed sugar. Moving into Section 1, the secret plan and real 7-Eleven recon. So to actually pull this off, the guys have this incredibly narrow window before Hannah gets back from her workout. If she walks in, boom, the 30-day challenge is ruined. And, every good heist requires recon. So step 1, Ben and his crew physically go to a real 7-Eleven to take notes. They're studying the layout, the iconic striped walls, the white floors. Step 2, they literally buy out the store's existing junk food inventory. We're talking multiple carts filled to the brim with Oreos, Doritos, every single flavor of Prime they can find. But step 3, this is where they cross the line from a simple prank into total madness. They don't just buy snacks, they go out and source authentic commercial-grade 7-Eleven shelving units, a massive display fridge, an original store sign from a closing location, and, get this, official employee uniforms. And to hide the entrance to the secret room, they plan to camouflage the door using the exact same 30-day health calendar that's causing Ben all this misery in the first place. Now, what's really interesting here is this number, $3,000. You're probably wondering what on earth that covers. Well, that is the price they paid just to acquire a genuine commercial-grade Slurpee machine for a bedroom. And of course, they bought all the classic flavors, fruit punch, lemonade, blue raspberry, and, incredibly, a bizarre pickle-flavored Slurpee that was apparently banned upon release because, well, people hated it. But dropping $3,000 on a beverage dispenser, it perfectly illustrates the extreme lengths they're going to for this secret haven. All right, on to Section 2, store construction and unhinged chaos. Okay, so with the supplies secured, the construction phase rapidly escalates into absolute chaos. While Hannah is freezing her tail off in a cryo chamber trying to optimize her health, the stress of the ticking clock is really getting to the guys, and poor decision-making totally takes over. Which brings us to Ben's friend, Derek. Derek decides that a standard American-style convenience store is just too boring. He drops this unbelievable line. In Japan, 7-Elevens have live cooks. So Derek's grand idea to elevate their secret store is to physically cook fresh burgers right there in the bedroom. There's just one massive architectural flaw in his plan. The room has absolutely zero ventilation. Within minutes, Derek manages to fill the entire secret room with thick, choking burger smoke, turning their little snack sanctuary into a severe fire hazard right as Hannah's return window is approaching. Somehow, despite the smoke, they manage to get the shelves stocked. And they don't just stick to local snacks either. They turn this room into a full-on international junk food exhibition. They stock Mexican mango Doritos, Japanese salt lemon and melon-flavored Kit Kats, and from India, they bring in samosas and this incredibly spicy popcorn. They even try something called fried egg chips. I mean, they are building the ultimate global junk food haven. It's a literal monument to everything they aren't allowed to eat on day 9 of their diet. Let's check out Section 3, the subscribers' Weird Cup Challenge. So to make the store feel, lived in, Ben invites his subscribers over for a bring your own cup Slurpee challenge. And this brilliantly illustrates just the utter madness of this whole event. Subscriber 1 walks in with a literal trash can and fills it to the brim with that dreaded green pickle Slurpee. Subscriber 2 brings a used boot, which, by the way, she admits was actually worn a few times, and fills it with the red flavor. Subscriber 3 brings his dad's actual gasoline can, though thankfully that one was brand new. But the absolute winner has to be subscriber 4, who dragged in a literal bathtub and created a Slurpee pool, just mixing every single flavor together. It is unsanitary, it's ridiculous, and it is a complete logistical nightmare for a room that's supposed to remain totally hidden from Hannah. Moving to Section 4, the fake lottery and the 5-minute warning. With the subscribers finally cleared out, the guys decide to prank each other with a fake $1 million lottery ticket. Let's just look at how this timeline escalates, right as Derek is celebrating his big win. So morning, the room is choked with burger smoke. Midday, subscribers are dragging bathtubs full of Slurpee through the house. Afternoon, Derek is having a $1 million meltdown over this fake ticket. And right in the middle of Derek's celebration, the phone rings. It's Hannah. She says she's exactly 5 minutes away from the house. T-minus 5 minutes. The door isn't locked. The entrance isn't hidden, and the guys go into a complete blind panic. Let's move to and see how this builds to the final confrontation. With literally seconds to spare, they scramble. They hastily attach hinges to that giant 30-day health calendar and swing it shut, perfectly camouflaging the gaping hole in the wall. Ben rips off his 7-Eleven uniform, throws himself onto the floor in the main house, and starts aggressively faking push-ups just to explain why he's sweating so profusely. Hannah walks in, sees Ben working out, offers him some leftover salad, and heads to the washroom. Against all odds, the reverse heist actually worked. The secret 7-Eleven is secure. Or so they thought. Section 5. Cheetos reveal the secret. You know how every great heist movie has that one tiny fatal flaw that brings the whole operation crashing down? Well, they managed to hide the machine, they managed to air out the smoke, but they forgot one tiny thing. Remember earlier when Derek was supposed to be helping build the store but was instead slacking off and eating the snacks? Yeah, he was eating Cheetos. And in his total panic during the 5-minute warning, Derek had pressed his hands flat against the wall, right next to the secret entrance. So when Hannah came out of the washroom, she didn't hear them, she didn't see the hole, but she saw bright neon orange Cheeto dust smeared cleanly across the drywall. She followed the fingerprints, pulled back the health calendar, and bam, the secret 7-Eleven was completely exposed. So the crucial point is, how does the intensely disciplined, cryotherapy-enduring Hannah react to her boyfriend spending thousands of dollars to build a junk food shrine on day 9 of their diet? Well, she looks at the perfectly stocked shelves, the international chocolates, the Prime, the Slurpee machine, and her willpower just shatters. She looks right at Ben and says, "I'm sorry, I'm very mad, but all this junk food looks pretty tasty. Can I eat it?" The sheer exhaustion of the diet catches up to her instantly, and she completely surrenders, grabs a Twinkie, and joins the guys in the secret room. Which leaves us with this final thought. Diet culture demands perfection, but human nature demands balance. And, occasionally a neon blue Slurpee. When cravings battles willpower, it's just fascinating to see what wins out. Now, most of us probably wouldn't build a secret convenience store in our spare bedroom, but we've all felt that day 9 desperation, right? So I'll leave you with this. The next time you're tempted to break a diet, just remember, at least you aren't leaving bright orange Cheeto fingerprints on the wall for everyone to see. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you on the next one.